So next we have the public hearing regarding lot split request for 2171 to 2173 Klingensmith, presented by Patty Volker.
So now that we're warmed up about lot splits, okay, here, that helps? Okay, good, thank you. So, as we introduced at the last meeting, this is a request to consider a lot division of the property that is at, that fronts on Klingensmith Road. Again, it's in the west area of Telegraph, north of Square Lake. And so we have some pictures of the existing premises, the structures that are on the lot. And this does have frontage on Square Lake that we'll talk about. And then the existing frontages along that area. So the property is 3.48 acres. It has, excuse me, the intention is to demolish all of the existing structures and any appurtenances in order to subdivide the parcels into 3 single-family residential lots. They are zoned single-family. And as we can see from the aerial, there is parcels in addition to lots 2 through 5 of Square Lake Country Club involved with the proposal to be able to then present a three residential lots with frontages on Klingensmith Road. The part of this request too is that through our research and through research from the applicant is that at the time that the property was platted, the Klingensmith Road itself was not specifically dedicated to the Road Commission of Oakland County. So you're going to see in our report, as I'm sure you have, and then some comments that we'll have later, that part of the conditions of approval is that they proceed with that process through Oakland County to have that right-of-way dedicated. And they're depicting that in the survey that is shown with the 3 parcels A, parcel B, parcel C, and then the park, which is the residual property that has frontage on Square Lake, with the given 66-foot right-of-way of Klingensmith. When we reviewed the proposal again, after the review of the standards of our Chapter 18, Division of Lots or Parcels, each of these lots contain more than the minimum 20,000 square feet for the R1 district, containing 34,008 square feet, 40,722 square feet, and 43,106 square feet, all exceeding the 100-foot lot width with sewers. When we reviewed the average of lots within 500 feet, with their principal frontage falling within this area, we find that they exceeded the average of 26,696 square feet of land by the respective acreage I just previously stated. And also the lot width, average one was 119 feet was the lot width. And the lots are presented as 120 feet for parcels A and B, and parcel C being 192 feet. And we also called out that outlot park is approximately 3,900 square feet, and it has approximately 140 feet of frontage, lake frontage. So through the analysis and acknowledging that the existing road is not formally dedicated to the Road Commission, the property owners will be required to apply and receive approval of the dedicated public right-of-way for Klingensmith as identified on these documents. And that becomes important as it relates to the utilities. The proposed parcels have access to public water and sanitary sewer. The resultant parcels will be required to pay the water capital and direct connection charges, and the sanitary sewer debt and direct connection charges required at the time of building permit submittal. And the applicant shall obtain and dedicate the public right-of-way to the Road Commission, or the applicant shall provide easements for the township's public water main and public sanitary sewer as needed. So the survey that's been presented both delineating the details of parcel A, parcel B, and parcel C. Also call out the proposed footprint, if you were building envelope, I should say, not footprint, building envelope for each of the lots that all would comply with the minimum front, side, and rear setbacks, so they are one districts. And in this instance, as we're speaking to the private park, it's noted in our Chapter 40 that not more than one motorboat shall be launched and/or docked adjacent to a separate lake frontage, and therefore there's only one motorboat shall be launched and/or docked at this designated park area along Square Lake as part of this submission. And as the various departments reviewed this proposal, excuse me, let me go back to the overall. Our Engineering and Environmental Service Department recommended approval of the lot split, subject to that dedication of the public right-of-way, and also providing easements, if should that dedication not occur, to be able to accommodate the township's public water main and public sanitary sewer. The assessor noted that the proposed lots would not suffer any additional exterior obsolescence due to the new lots, and also noted that the park will have its own parcel ID, yet the value of the park parcel will be added to only the other 3 lots because they are the sole beneficiaries of this lakefront lot. And neither the police or fire had any concerns with this proposal. So similarly with other lot split requests, the Township Board is asked to evaluate how this proposed division will be consistent and compatible with the existing lots, parcels, and uses in the neighborhood. And so upon receiving public comment, the board is being asked to consider approving the lot split as presented, subject to compliance with the requirements of the township departments, or to deny the application as presented. So I know we have the applicant here, and as well, I'm here to answer any questions.
Start by opening up the public comment. Do we have anybody here that's looking to talk? Not that I'm pushing you up there, Kirk, but
Again, I'm Kirk Brannick. I live at 1642 Hamilton. It actually is directly across from parcel C. My home is right here. We also own the lake bottom, which is outlot B, 38 acres, which the park goes out into. So all around this is also, believe it or not, our property. We're supportive of this lot split. We did send a letter to the township, kind of outlining 3 key areas based on discussions with Patty. Also, the applicant, it sounds like that those 3 conditions are met, which is really good. The 3 items were clearly, we want, 3 single-family homes, which would be a plus to the neighborhood since we have a high density already. Second thing is the park consists of 125 feet of frontage, I believe, at least what I kind of saw. And we want to make sure that that's the only area, if in fact they do, a seawall or whatever that's going to be disturbed. Square Lake is one of the cleanest lakes in the state of Michigan, believe it or not. We want to keep it that way. There's a natural green belt that actually runs from my home to the park. We want that to stay in place. We understand that, there will only be really a kind of a view to lake from here, that they'll share the frontage, but we think it's a plus. If we can meet those 3 conditions, we're very, very supportive. So we appreciate you looking at our letter, which it sounds like you already did, but that's the only comments we have. Thank you.
is there anybody else here to talk?
Hi, Michael Hennis, and I live directly on the other side of the property at 2159 Klingensmith, and I'm in support of the combination and the split of the properties. I think it's a good solution for the applicants and for the neighbors. Interested to see how the park concept is going to work. Would they all have equal ownership, or would they handle that as a separate entity? But I think it's a good plan for the city. Thank you.
Is there anyone else here to talk?
I'm Mark Kochmeyer, 1921 Delrose Drive. As a follow-up to our prior one, as well as this one, the park, so these A, B, and C have access to the lake. And the rule is you can only have one boat to do that. And so I'm curious how that is going to be managed between the three lots. One year one guy gets it, the next year the next guy, or how do they do that? But the reason I bring this up again is because in our prior lot split, the same applies as well. Those two, that lot right there also is shared with a small 75-foot on Square Lake as well. And I don't know, do you leave it up to the individuals, or is there some ordinance, or how does it gets contentious? Any comments?
We will address that. We always take in all the comments first, and then we address everything.
All right, well, that'd be my comment on that, how we'd be able to do that, because that's gonna be a bone of contention.
Is there anybody else here to talk? Yeah.
It's going to sound a lot the same. My name is Bob Waitchell, and I'm at 1782 Maplewood. But I also have the concern, if you have three different lots, or now homes, families, how they would divide up the one boat. And that's just clearly a challenge. We have that this year with Ward's Orchard, where they don't have enough property and they put the second boat on anyways. And we're working through the township to eliminate that. The reality is, if you look at A, B, and C, I mean, A has 90% of the property in front of it. If there's any way for us or for the township to say, okay, well, whoever gets Lot A, I mean, you have the access to the boat, the right for the boat. That would make Lot A obviously more valuable than B and C, but, C doesn't face the lake, has no property in front of it, and B only has really a few feet. So if there's any ability to assign that boat slip to A, that eliminates long-term problems as we move forward with who gets the boat in that area. Thank you.
Is there anybody else here to talk? Okay, then we will close public comment. And I'm not sure if anybody saw the last meeting, but I mentioned it so many times, I think it was obvious, but I'm gonna do it again. So it's on video. There will be a zero tolerance policy. They all very much understand, and we'll say it now since you're present. There will only be one boat. If a second one goes on, their tickets start coming and it gets taken off. So we are, just as we have to do right now at the other place where they thought no one was looking, there are always people looking. Please don't bother trying to put that second boat on there. It is not allowed, and it won't be tolerated. So I just want to again say it, so it's on video. We all have heard it. So when you do hear from Kirk, if somebody does it, please don't make the police come out and remove it. Please just move it off. Just don't put a second boat out there. Okay. So I just want to make sure we've all heard it, we've all seen it, and it is a zero tolerance. So we will make sure that there's only one boat out there. And thank you, Kirk, because I know you do a lot of that heavy lifting to make sure to get all that done. But every once in a while, we do have someone digs their heels in that we have to send the police out on, or code enforcement. So please understand there will only be one boat, and it's up to them, actually, I believe, how they decide. We don't force that on somebody. They just understand that it doesn't matter which one of them has it, but only one of them gets it. Do you want to add any more?
No, that's actually just what I was going to comment on.
I just wanted to make sure it's on video, it's in the minutes, so there's zero chance that there was any miscommunication.
Crystal clear.
So I think,
Yeah.
I mean, I had the same question that a couple of the residents had, which was, how do we manage that? I mean, they all equally own the park, so who gets the boat?
That's their issue, and that's the developer, can come up and talk to you about that, but
I think it's a little Pollyannish to think that that's not going to become our issue.
it'll start getting fines, so.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, we have condominiums, there's a lot of people that there are more than one in an area that we're dealing with, and they've been able to, I think it's only been once or twice in the 50-some year. I mean, most people know there's a rule on that lake, and they moved to that lake for a reason, because it is well-managed, it is clean, it is understood, and they have a state, so that actually went all the way to the Supreme Court.
I hear you.
Yeah.
But, and I'm not trying to be Debbie Downer, but, you know, real estate agents sell property and they say, put in there, like, the house I lived in before, advertised with lake privileges. And then when I got there and I called the lake association, they said, no, you don't have privileges. I said, well, it was in the real estate listing. They said, that's not our problem. So what happens when somebody puts lake privileges through a private beach, somebody buys the house assuming they can put a boat there, and then they can't because they're the second one. And I mean, I just, it seems like we're just,
I mean, they do
Right.
actually all have lake privileges, just so you know, they do all have
well, they have lake
one-third.
privileges in
Yeah.
the sense that they own,
They can go and
co-own
hang out
this
on the
park.
beach, right.
but who gets the, I mean, is
And-
it
I
the
mean,
first
the ans-
person that drops their boat in the spring? I mean, like,
Township board can't protect with respect to somebody misrepresenting something in
well, I know that,
the
but,
listing. So, I mean,
Right.
all we can do is emphasize, as Danny's done, that if the second boat goes in, we will enforce, we will issue tickets, and we'll force the issue that way. And hopefully, when the property is marketed, they will market it in good faith and not make those misrepresentations. So.
Can you come on up?
And deed restriction.
Are you the applicants? Yeah, can you come on up? Because I think that'll help to hear from you.
I'm Mike Cotter, and I'm his friend. The issue that you're talking about, I think, does have some validity, but it'll be deed restricted. The deed will convey what they can and can't do. And it's not a question of whether, just because the first guy's there, he gets to have it. There'll be an agreement, and it'll be enforceable.
Can you walk us through your idea of, will you be promoting it to the Lot A, or will you be saying first who buys gets the boat?
The way it'll.
How will you restrict it?
The way they'll be sold, we are probably going to sell the property to a developer. And that developer will convey title to each of three people. And in the conveyance, it'll identify that there is a park that each of the three own. And on that park or in that waterway, the association will only allow one boat. And that'll be up to them. It'll be in black and white, and it'll be a recorded document, and they'll know that. So I think that to assume that there's going to be a problem with that is probably, I can't believe that there will be, because it's a matter, if it was just an agreement amongst parties, that would be one thing, but this is going to be a deed restriction that's going to follow each of their title. So I don't see it as an issue.
Is there any way to Michael's point, to put it with, or with Mr. Watchell's point, to put it with a specific lot?
I don't think you should. If it's going to be deed restricted, we would still have the ability to enforce it by issuing citations, and certainly the association.
Sure.
Or whoever the benefited party is could enforce a deed restriction. So I don't think we should get in the business of dictating which one of those three lots gets the vote. I don't think that would be appropriate.
And the way it's happened so far, Michael, is whenever it did come up, it came up once. I know Kirk normally reaches out, gives them the Supreme Court ruling that says that they can't. There was one time, and we did send somebody out there, and to be honest, if they're gonna fight about it, they both come out. Because until they can figure it out, only one can be out there and not two. So it would behoove them to work together to maybe get a pontoon they all split. That's what a friend does in a different area, I believe on yours actually, Walnut Lake.
Once the township got involved, they pulled it off,
Yeah,
which was wonderful. And in 30 years, we've had no issue,
yeah.
so far, so good.
Better knock on that one.
okay.
Does anyone have any other questions, comments?
Let me make a motion that the criteria have been met for the lot split, certainly in favor of the lot split, subject to the criteria the letter that was presented to the board at the previous meeting, when it was first introduced with those 3 criteria, in addition to the fact that the representation by the owner that if it is sold, there will be deed restrictions in there regarding the boat, use of the boat on property.
Motion by trustee Barnett,
Support?
support by treasurer Keeps. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All opposed? That does pass. Thank you. We gotta move on. Yeah, sorry, but we can talk together after.
There's not much more.
Yeah.